new guard. Of course, we have the tier announcements, and we have got such an incredible grid here in F2.
Sound issues here.
Oh no.
Oh, it's happened again. It has happened again. I did it yesterday. Okay, everybody. I did it yesterday. I haven't learnt. You know what? Shoot me for it. But it's happened again. It's because I unplugged my PC and everything reset itself, and I forgot to do it tonight. But we'll start over again. My name is Dan Field, and I'm being joined by Chris Buxton, and the wait is finally over for PSGL F2 to get underway, and round number 1 is at Spielberg, Austria, of course, at the Red Bull Ring. What a circuit this is, Chris.
You know what I have to say to that, Dan? And I was joking saying that I was going to use this as my new avatar if I ever changed it, but that performance, I'm afraid, deserves the green monkey. But
He's out already.
But yeah, what a great... We'll go through the intro again. Really looking forward to this. It doesn't feel like that long since the season, Monumental season 30 ended, signifying a decade of PSGL or more. And here we are, season 31, an incredibly stacked grid of very, very capable drivers await us for PCF2. Really can't wait. And of course, we do have the mighty GT Omega sponsorship behind us. That's going to just propel PSGL further and further into greatness. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Really, really looking forward to this.
Absolutely, of course, PSGL having the title sponsors of GT Omega. We've got our chairs here. I can't use it's a really nice cushion, but I can't use it because I'm a bit too tall. So I'm just sitting with the default, but I know Chris has got the very comfortable cushion supporting the back of his head. And look at him, he's lying back, all confident.
It's so nice, this chair.
It is so nice.
It really is. I usually get the kind of numb bum syndrome if I've been in, because I usually use like leather office chairs, and I get a terrible numb backside from that, but not with this one. And yeah, that sounds like a salesman spiel. I'll take that criticism, but honestly, very, very worth it. They are so comfortable and very much worth it. Very, very much worth it.
Absolutely, but enough about the chairs. I think we should talk about the drivers that we have today, and hopefully invites will go out soon. But I'll quickly just bring up I can't bring up the grid for whatever reason, but I do have it on another screen here. So our 20 full-time drivers racing this season are Luke Smith, Simon Perronier, Duncan Hoffland, Carter Lundy, Ruben Pedreño, Andre Tarabucan, Norbert Jakob, Joost Noordijk, Istvan Pukki, Sam McBride, Jack West, George Nader, Danny Lusink, Primoz Miklavčić, Max Vissel, Alfie Butcher, Christoph Zeller, Dylan Warren, Ruben Vallejo, and Domenico Lavecchi. Then our reserve drivers for this season: Flores Vyers, Matthew Alder, Ben Shabokonyi, Oscar Villacampa, Will Lewis, F.E.S. Svetkov, Ika Baenya, Chanakinchi, Jakub, I apologise, I can't say the surname. I'll try my best. It's very difficult. And Jordan Poland. Hopefully someone can fix my pronunciation. But Chris, what a grid this is. It's just talent wherever you look.
Oh, yes, it is. We really enjoyed, like, Simon Perroni, Arthur Lundy. We had visits from Danny Lusing, Georges Nader. I mean, wow, did Georges Nader and Alfie Butcher actually just hit the ground running when they first appeared. Luke Smith, of course, our returning champion. Looking forward to seeing how he did. Ruben Pedreño, Christoph Zeller, so many names to look forward to. I do have, and I confess, as much as we commentators do remain neutral as much as we can, we do have our favourites. We do have those that we secretly cheer for. I'm no different in that sense. I do have a bit of a soft spot for Flores Vyers. Reason being is that he's been in the scene for almost as long as I've been commentating for. So it's kind of like the old... He's not. It's not like he is old. He has taken a break he took a break from sim racing for a little while. But Flores has always been one of those names that has just been around for a while. He's actually in the session, so I'm not 100% sure who he's replacing this time around. So I'm not certain one, but either way, we have got whoever it is he's replacing. We are in for a fantastic night's racing.
Yeah, whoever's seat Flores has taken up, it's certainly in good hands. And if you want to know who my, every commentator says they don't have a bias. Chris denies that. I'm much the same. I've got a soft spot for Will Lewis, of course. We go back a long way. I've been commentating over him since AOR F3 on PlayStation. We played a bunch of games together. We're really, really good friends, and hopefully, I don't believe he's here today, but if we do get to see Will Lewis, then we are in for a treat. He's a very fast driver, but I will run through all the runners that we have today. We have Primož Klavčić. No, actually, I think it would just be easier to see who's actually filling in as a reserve, but as far as I can tell, I don't believe it's only Flores.
Flores is replacing Ruben Vallejo, from what I can see.
Okay.
He's in the McLaren, and we have Pedreño. So that is who Flores is standing in for. But I think we are. We've still got a. I haven't set spectator mode. Oh, I'm fired. Yeah, I've readied up. Oh dear, oh dear. I've done that before. I know. I held up a lobby once because I accidentally did that. I readied up instead of hit spectator mode, and I had Discord screaming at me, and I was like, "Wonder what's taking our one of those kind of moments."
It's what you had to do back in the day because there was no spectator mode. I remember I wasn't around in the league racing scene, but I watched a bunch of Fizzy's old videos. And
good old Fizzy.
And yeah, good old Fizzy. I wonder what he's up to at the moment. But I remember you and the other commentator would start out in the race and just retire straight away. So safe to say the F1 games have come quite a long way. But it's good that we're finally in spectator mode. I'm just going to see who we're actually missing at this point. We are missing one of the Haas drivers. Who might that be, Chris?
It's Domenico Leveche or Dylan Warren. I believe
it's
Dylan we are missing, and the Haas is. Yeah, so that's the only driver we're missing, because we've got 19. So it is just Dylan Warren who is AWOL at the moment. I say Ruben Vallejo has. I'm just looking at. Just seeing who is going to stand in for him. It looked like it might be Ben Sabakonyi. Yes, it is. He was the first one to stand in the Haas. So Ben Sabakonyi has taken that Haas spot. So 2 reserves in for tonight. Bring it on. So short qualifying. It's the same format as of course season's gone by. Short qualifying to 18-minute, a single session, and 36 laps await us around the glorious Red Bull. Come on, let's bring this on. Let's get it on. Let's get it underway. I'm excited. We hope you are watching as well.
Yep, drivers are beginning to ready up. I'm seeing in the live chat, Caden Forbes has said 200% he's sleeping. That is in reference to Dylan Warren. I wouldn't be surprised. I've seen him active on Twitter at some points, just at random points in the day. But finally, we are about to get underway. Just 10 more seconds until the drivers get into the lobby, and you can hear the little ticking noise in behind. So we are soon getting ready. I'm excited. Chris is excited. Hopefully you are all as well. But before we get into the action, here's a word from our title sponsors at GT Omega. And here we are in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. And one thing I'm noticing already, Chris, we've got some cloudy skies up ahead.
Yes, clouds are looming here in the Red Bull Ring. So is that going to cause a trouble? Well, everybody is armed with soft tyres, it looks like. That's not entirely unusual. That's what we saw in the social races. No one's really looking after those tyres for any length of time. Now, you reminded me of another story involving spectator mode going a bit wrong. Me and my old stablemate, Hamish Sopwith, who sadly isn't in commentary anymore, he forgot to go into spectator mode. I think this was on, it was either 18 or 19. I forget which one this happened on. But basically his car started on the grid, even though he never was in control of it. And the leader hit it at some point. Either leader hit it or it hit the leader, one of the two. And yeah, Hamish wasn't too popular on that occasion, but I've made the same error, not in the F1 games, in another commentary I did, where I was what was it? I think was it R Factor? I think it was R Factor, and for whatever reason, my add-ons weren't retiring my car straight away, so I had to do a manual. On one occasion, I forgot. I was at Snetterton, and so there was a stationary car just sat there, and the leader came around and ploughed into it at full racing speed. So yes, again, I was not very popular then.
I mean, that all sounds a bit mental, if I do say. And luckily, I've never made the same mistake. But finally, we are into the session, and we've got our first flying laps at the moment. We're watching Domenico Lavecce, the Italian driver, a part of the Ferrari esports team last season, now running in F2, and here he is in towards the second sector, the double left-hander through here. I don't imagine that a lot of these drivers are going to be pushing all too hard on their first runs, but we should see them towards the end of the session going full pelt. We'll see what Domenico can do in his Haas through turns number 9 and 10 off the exit with the final corner. Very easy to validate through there, but the benchmark for this session is a 104 flat, and that is a very impressive banker time from Lavecce. Duncan Hoffman manages to go 2/10 off that. George Nader, wow, incredible time from him to set his banker off, a 103.9. Alfie Butcher not too far off him, so the two Williams cars are doing superbly well so far, as Joost Noordijk is about to come to the line. Istvan Pukki has also gone into 7th, Noordijk the Dutchman into 5th. Miklavcic completes his time, goes into 8th, so a lot of these runs getting out of the way early on, as it seems like Norbert Jakob, he's nestled himself up into 4th.
I always struggled with pretty much his name. I always said it as Miklavic, but I'm convinced I never got that right. Miklavcic sounds much more likely, considering the amount of letters involved in the name. Yeah, several 103s on the board now. So George Nader at the top of the tree. Alfie Butcher half a tenth behind. Ruben Pedreño just 8 thousandths behind Alfie Butcher as Florida Fires has come over the line. Number of cars coming over the line then. Danny Lusink and Carter Lundy back in the pits. Simon Perroni has done a lap that has invalidated it. And Ben Sabatoni, the exceedingly last-minute call-up, as he's on a time lapse. We'll see where he is able to slot in. But absolutely brilliant. Half a second, first to 16th. Yes, I know it's a short lap, but and these are the banker laps as well. So they tend to get, the gaps tend to get shorter as the session goes on. 1,000 separating Jack West and Max Wiesel. Max Wiesel in 6th and 7th. Absolutely amazing stuff. Just a 10th from 4th to 10th, let alone half a second separating the field. Here comes Ben Sabatoni, last 2 corners, for God's sake, 2 corners. Red Bull Mobile, and now over the line. Where can he put it? 4th, a 103 treble 9. 4 cars now into the 103s.
Absolutely, that was a very nice lap time from Ben Zaboconiers. Everyone in the space of 5 minutes has come out, set a lap, and then gone right back into the pits. That is, of course, excluding Danny Lusink, Simon Perigny, and Carter Lundy. Just quickly, everybody, I'm going to go into my audio settings here on the game, because I can see I'm talking in the bottom. If I turn mute by default on, this should hopefully... Actually, no, it needs to be push to talk on. And then there we are. Finally, you won't see my name at the bottom of the list. But with 12 minutes left to go, we have some more drivers coming out onto the circuit. The first of them being, once again, Domenico Lavecce. So he's very eager to get out in this qualifying session. He is in towards Sector 2 on his outlap. And Lavecce, I'd say he is quite the special driver, of course, formerly a part of the PlayStation scheme, although I don't believe he raced too often in PSGL F1 back then. And it's good to see him now in F2 fighting with some of the next big stars in F1 esports, and hopefully we can get to see them all in action tonight as Lavecce begins his lap of the Red Bull Ring.
That he does. Riding on board with him now, climbing up the hill, breaks around about 50 metres, kisses the exit on the right hand side. So got to be very careful doing that. There is a nasty sausage curb that will catapult you into oblivion. Sweeping through turn 2 that doesn't really exist, and then into Remus. This is why I use corner names, because no one can decide on how many corners there actually are in this circuit, myself included. Into Remus then, and then along that back straight towards Schloss Goal. So starting to come back down the hill, then braking around about 75 metres. Very, very important corner to get right, and very easy to get wrong. And Lavecce, the tail does not happy with that. And that is a bin lap from the Haas. So as I was about to say, it's a really easy to get wrong. I've been many virtual laps at Schloss Gold, and unfortunately that one went the same way for Lavecce. Lusink, Pironi and Carter-Lundy are also out on circuit. The Red Bull of Lusink has just come to Schloss Gold with a face full of traffic. Oh, nearly collects one of the Mercedes there. Pironi, where are you? You've just started your lap. You're up at Remus. Carter-Lundy is about to finish his lap. Where does he get? In the Alpine, and a statement of intent from Carter-Lundy. 103.876 on the board. Nicely done. Flies off the road in celebration. Good effort there. I'll keep an eye on what Danny Lusink, Danny Lusink has invalidated his lap on the run of the last few corners. I'll keep an eye on Simon Pironi in the Alfa Romeo to see where he slots in.
Yeah, we're just seeing some more drivers not really improving on their times at the moment. Simon Pironi has unfortunately invalidated his run. We do have Joost Noordijk coming up to the line, but he is unfortunately invalidated. That time would have been good enough to see him into P7. We've got Ferrari through the final corner. This is Jack West, and he's up on his previous best time. We'll see where the Welshman can go, and he goes to the top of the order ahead of Carter-Lundy. We've also got a Haas car of Jabakoni just beginning his run. Danny Lusink is not on the furthest up the road. It is Norbert Jakob, but he is not pushing. I believe it's Ruben Pedreño up next, again not pushing on this lap as Lavecce comes to the line. He goes into fourth as we've just gone on board with Norbert Jakob. He spins out of the first corner, so that lap that he's just started soon to be abandoned, and that is the run in the bin for him. Luke Smith is coming up to the line. Where can he go? He goes to the top of the order, locking out the front row by just 0.003 of a second ahead of his Ferrari teammate Jack West. Incredible time from Luke Smith there.
Someone in chat making the same kind of argument about the turns. There's only 10 of them. Why not call it turn 4? Well, they have names, and it does save the argument on, no, there's 9 corners, no, there's 11 corners. But I've seen all combinations of track maps in the past. I'm sticking to corner names just to save the argument. Stunning effort there from the Ferrari pair. I fear that Jack West has got a desync problem. Just ask me this, where does Jack West appear on your screen?
He's in the pit lane for me at this point.
He is out on circuit somewhere. Actually, I can't even select Jack's name. So I have a horrible feeling that we might have a problem with Jack West. I really hope not, because sadly there have been a few decent problems with the game at the moment. So, for instance, when Jack set what was his pole time on my screen, he was in the pits, revving his engine into oblivion and wiggling the steering wheel. So, yeah, take that as you will. And interesting to see, there's a constant stream of laps going on. We're not having a lull in pits. We're not seeing just lots of people staying in the pits for a period of time. It's constantly in, change tyres, back out again. Everyone's sticking to soft tyres. So, and with the cloud in the air, this makes me think we are going to see some rain for the season opener here of season 31 of PSGL.
Got Andrew Tarabukin in towards now the final corners, but he's invalidated and he's pulled off into the pit lane. Not the correct way to come into the box, but we'll let it slide. For now, let's watch Alfie Butcher in his Williams car, currently 7th position behind his teammate by 0.06 of a second. and we'll see what he can do. Currently on a 1 minute 3.980 in towards the sector 2 split, and oh dear, there's an immediate invalidation. He's run just slightly wide out of there, and his run is now in the bin. But we do have Primož Miklavčić, currently the slowest driver of all that have set laps at this point, but he is improving in the first sector, and I'd imagine on the trajectory that he is at, he's going to improve even more. And there it is, up 0.3 of a second on his previous lap, as here he is now in towards the final section. He's catching an Aston Martin car just up in front of him, hoping there's no dirty air, as here he comes in towards now the final 2 corners. The Red Bull Mobile, turn number 10, to come up towards the line. Where can he go? Miklavčić in towards 7th position, a nice enough time to bag himself a place in the top 10.
Nicely done from Primož Miklavčić there. I'm watching Simon Perroni coming through the last 2 turns. This will be his first valid lap of the night. Where does it put him? Currently at the back of the table, it is 10th with a 103.995. That would have been pole at one point in the evening, but no such luck. Still half a second separating the entire field, minus Danny Lusig in the Red Bull, who's just coming towards the Rindt corner, penultimate turn, to start his next lap. Now, Caden Forbes is saying rain half an hour into the race, and George Nader reclaims that top spot with a 103.808 for Williams. Very good effort there, good sir. Well, if that's going to be the case, then this race is going to be wet towards the tail end of it. Generally, the 50% races will last in the region of 45 minutes. So, yeah, we're going to have a significant percentage of it. Those clouds look really, really looming. Yeah, we're going to have a significant portion of the race in soggy conditions. That's really going to mix things up.
Absolutely. I'm interested to see how the drivers will handle it in terms of the strategy. Of course, sorry, just to interrupt myself there, we've got Jack West in the final sector. He is able to jump ahead of his teammate, but if it is towards the end of the race, then I wonder if drivers are going to try and opt for the mediums and then get that run in there, or go for the hards and play it a little bit safer, because they don't want to be making 2 pit stops in a 50% race. As there is Ruben Pedreño to the top of the order. A very nice time from the Spaniard. The 2 Red Bulls now in the final sector. Danny Lusing again not able to set a lap time. He's peeling off into the pits. But what about Norbert Jakob is through now the final corner. The future esports driver across the line. He can go 13th place behind Bent Jabo Konyi. As it seems like, Chris, all of the runs at this point are coming into the pit lane, and we are getting ready with 4 minutes to go left in this session for the final runs of quali.
Luke Smith up to second with a 103.748, 9,000s behind Pedreño. So everyone really giving it their all to get the all crucial pit positions they can. And yeah, my game cannot decide where Jack West actually is, so I have no idea what to say on him. Sabakoni is out there doing another lap. He's coming down towards Rindt. What can he do? Rides the curbs as much as he can. Opens up the line over the curb. Doesn't kill himself on the sausage curb. Sabakoni, 103.999 in 12th, and that's a 103.953. Finds 46 thousandths. Put him up into 9th place.
Slots in just behind his Haas teammate of Domenico Lavecce, but it seems like we've got the first runner on an out lap for their final runs in qualifying. It's Primož Miklavčić. At the moment, we've got Luke Smith coming into the pit lane, and then Zabo Konyi on an in lap. So Miklavčić essentially has the entire circuit to himself, but I can see on the mini-map that some drivers are pulling out the pit lane. This could be bad for Primož, because of course he might catch them and take some traffic. And if he backs off here, he might be able to avoid some of them, but it's not looking good. Unless they could do a good job of getting out of the way, then he should be okay. But in towards now the final 2 corners to begin this lap of the Red Bull Ring, and we'll ride on board with him for the entirety of it, as here he goes, opening up the DRS, and to begin this run, uphill climb towards turn number 1 at Lauda, where he's going to ride the curb on entry. Don't take too much curb on the inside, and make sure you stay safe on the exit. And he manages to just lose the car ever so slightly, and that lap ended as quick as it started.
Sadly so, and that's the fine line you have to tread to get that, to find those crucial tenths or hundredths or even thousandths to elevate yourself. A tenth of a second can catapult you from, for instance, 12th to 6th in this particular grid. This is some of the very best that we have here in PSGL. Of course, the tier 1 guys, the absolute gods, have had their race. They had theirs yesterday. So now we're seeing those challenging for those top spots. And a number of familiar names. Those that are regulars here at PSGL will know a number of these names from F2 last time around. So who else is on a lap? Flores is on a lap. Butcher is on a lap. Miklavčić is on a lap, along with Carter Lundy. So lots of people then starting their out laps. Starting their last time laps. Lots of people except for Sabaconi are on track. Actually, the only one that isn't on track is Sabaconi, I beg your pardon. So how much time is left? Don't know, because there's a yellow flag out there, so I can't actually see how long is left of the session. Crikey, don't know who to look at. There's so many people that could potentially get better the time. Actually, Sabaconi has come out 1.5 minutes. He will make it round to start another lap.
Flores.
So I'm going to keep on. I'll keep on board with Danny Lusing. He's the only one yet to set a time. He's got someone directly ahead of him, coming down towards Verth, which is turn 7, I believe. And he's going to have to back off a little bit just to give him that bit of breathing space. There's a McLaren that is parked, it seems, or had very close to the pit lane entrance. Don't know which one it was. It'll be Flores Vias, who'd invalidated his previous lap. Let's see who can improve on their final runs here in Austria.
Seems like a lot of drivers are making mistakes. We do have one of the Alfa Romeo cars in the final 2 corners. It is Primož Miklavčić currently in 10th position. We'll see where he can find himself. He crossed the line. Oh no, dear, he's not happy with that one. He spins across the line. His teammate Simon Perrone way down in 13th position. And where can he go? He does not improve, but he could be going for another push lap here. We've got Domenico Lavecce. I believe he's in the final 2 corners, but again, not improving. What about Sam McBride? Not seeing too much of him in this qualifying session. Once again, going for a push lap. So it seems like a lot of these drivers have messed up on their first runs, and they've decided to go once again, as Pedreño is not pushing at this point. So I think we have to look back at Flores Vias, who's invalidated his lap time, but Istvan Pukki is pushing with just 10 seconds left to go. Pedreño is going to get across the line to begin his final run, but as the clock strikes 0, that means no other lap times can be started, as here comes Pukki coming up towards the line. What can the Hungarian do as he crosses the line now? He goes into 10th position. Got an Alpine car in the final 2 corners. That's Carter Lundy. He's in to the pit lane. A Williams now of, I believe, it's George Nader in towards the final corner, but he's down by almost 0.2 of a second if he's found any time in this final corner. He's invalidated, so that lap goes down the bin. And we've got Max Wissel at this point, also crossed the line down all the way in 18th. He goes up to 6th behind his teammate Carter Lundy. Who is up next? I believe it could be Andrei Tarabukin. No, it's not. It's Sam McBride, as he spins out and goes across and out as Danny Lusink retires from this session. A Ferrari car of Jack West has just crossed the line. His teammate Luke Smith is now into the final 2 corners. He's down by 700ths of a second. He invalidates on his run. Pedreño's into the pit lane, but I don't believe anyone can challenge him at this point. Alfie Butcher is not on a push lap. Joost Noordijk is not pushing. Andrei Tarabukin's pulling into the pit lane, and that is going to conclude our qualifying session. Ruben Pedreño, the Spaniard, is on top here.
What a great start from Ruben Pedreño, and he's got the champion Luke Smith right alongside him. Oh, well, that's going to shape up for a fantastic start to our season as the clouds continue to roll in. Oh, wow. That session is done. We'll run through the order when the grid appears. Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Just in case you couldn't tell.
No, I couldn't at all. You couldn't have been more loud about your emotions, but I'm very excited as well, and I'm glad that the season is finally getting underway, and it's been all the social races, and we've been sort of teased as to what the action would be like, as we're just waiting to load into the qualifying results, and then we'll get that order on your screens, as my internet appears to be running a little bit slower this evening, so I do apologise.
Not just yours. I haven't got the grid order right.
Oh dear. The lobby's getting updated, and there we are. Well, Okay, I guess we're not seeing the qualifying order. I think we're just loading straight into the lobby. So I will head back over to the interview room. Not the interview room, the intermission. No, oh my God. All over the shop at this point. What is going on? There we are. We're finally here. But what a qualifying session that was. And Pedreño comes out on top.
He does indeed. As we've loaded in now, it actually looks clear sky for the moment. But we were told that the rain was coming towards the end of the series. Can we please stop asking where Jarno is? That is a very old meme. Let it die. We know where he is.
He's
Leave
in
it
Abu
alone.
Dhabi.
Yeah.
He's having a great time. I mean, I'm not jealous at all. I've got PSGL to make me happy. But I believe we're about to head into the race. Before we get underway, I'm going to you're going to hear a quick word from our title sponsors at GT Omega. So we will see you on the other side on the formation lap. And here we are back in the Styrian Mountains at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, and the formation lap has just gotten underway, Chris, and let's see what tyres have all the drivers opted for. And well, we saw this in F1 last night, and it's completely the same in F2.
Everyone opting for hards. Not one person going for a contra strategy. That, outside of wet races, that is very rare to see everybody going for the same slick tyre combo. But everybody with the same idea. That's a curious one. Quite why people aren't on their qualifying tyres, or the top 10 not in the qualifying tyres, I don't know. But I think that rule has changed.
Yeah.
So, yes, I made that mistake before, and I was reminded that rule is no longer in use. That shows my age, you see. The old grey faculties are letting me down again. But there we go. So, Pedreño for McLaren leads the Ferrari pair. And I now can look at Jack West. So that's
fantastic.
That's the relief. So he's not constantly in the pit lane for me. I was seeing his times up here on the board, our lad, but I just couldn't never look at him. George's Nader in fourth. Our lead Williams half the night. Carter Lundy in the Alpine. Max Wiesel, his teammate. So the Alpine pair round out row 3. Joost Noordijk, Domenico Livetti, row 4. Alfie Butcher, Christoph Zeller. Didn't really see Christoph in the course of the qualifying. In row 5, Sabaconi and Hoffman, row 6. Pookie and Tarabukin, row 7. Miklapcic and Perony are Alfa Romeo pair all the way down there in row 8. Then Jacob and McBride, row 9. Forest Fires and Danny Lusing, not seeing a qualifying time, find the back of the field.
Absolutely, and let's get ready for this race. Let us know, everyone, who you are supporting in this race and who you think is going to come out on top. As here we are, the lights come on. It is 5 red lights here in Austria for round number 1 of season 31. We are underway here, and let's see who gets the better start. It is Rune Pedreño flying off the line. George Nader trying to make a move on Jack West as they head in towards the first corner, but the Spaniard has got a fantastic launch as Jack West tries to make a move on his teammate, potentially behind, as Carter Lundy's in the wars, and they're in 3 wide. Further back behind, we've got yellow flags in the first sector. Tarabukin has got a ride as they reach the pinnacle of the circuit down at Remus. Carter Lundy looking up the inside of his teammate Max Wiesel. He's had a fantastic getaway as they rise through this lap. Pedreño leading from Luke Smith, and Jack West in behind trying to make a move on his Ferrari compatriot as they file down in towards Schloss Gold corner. Look at that, they're 2x2, few rows deep. It's like Noah's Ark here in Austria, as it seems like there's the Hassers trying to make the move on Max Wiesel. He's not giving an inch on them as he tries to hold it around the outside in towards the 3rd sector. So close to contact, neither driver gives an inch. Max Wiesel comes out on top. And how about this for a start to the season, Chris?
Oh, yes, please, is all I can say to that. Unfortunately, on my screen, Jack West is 18th. So that's in 19th. So there is definitely trouble, certainly between me and Jack West. Oh, no, he's first on my screen, even though his car on my screen is lapping towards the back. Anyway, never mind that. Rune Pedreño up top for in the McLaren. Oh, go on.
Sabaconni's been sent over the sausage curbs there. He's losing a number of positions. It looked like he went into a full spin, but he somehow recovered. Still going on here. Meanwhile, there's, oh my, an Alfa Romeo going off the circuit. Miklavcic braking so late there and has to avoid the rear of the hats if he wanted to keep his front wing.
Oh, that got a bit uncomfortable for Sabaconi coming through Remus. As now looking at pretty much Miklavcic being challenged with Sam McBride getting a punch in the face coming through Slosgold, but manages to, well, he keeps his car on the straight and narrow but loses positions as a result. But so far so good. I haven't seen anybody come into the pit lane yet, so that's always good to see. As DRS now we'll see whether DRS will shake up the field. DRS isn't particularly strong for everywhere except on the run up towards Remus. That's where we're going to see most overtaking action. As of course Pedroño takes the fastest lap in the McLaren. We'll see if he's able to continue that pace.
Of course, it's very difficult to overtake when a DRS train is so common around a circuit like this, but Alfie Butcher is going to try and make it work as he closes to the rear of Domenico Lavecchia, using his battery to close and draw towards the inside line in towards the braking zone. Domenico Lavecchia staying ahead here, but Alfie Butcher brakes later, he brakes harder, and he goes up the inside, making that move stick, leaving the room on the outside for Lavecchia, and it didn't seem like the Italian wanted to fight that one all too hard. But now Alfie Butcher, the young rising star, moving over from the Xbox platform, is up in towards P8, and this could be the start of a fantastic season in PSGL for him, as on lap number 3 DRS has been enabled, and we'll see if Luke Smith tries for a move soon on Pedroño.
Big cheers of support for Joost Noordijk in the Aston Martin, who's chasing Carter Lundy. I'm going to have to double check with you periodically. Where is Jack West still with his teammate? Is he still third?
He is still third, yeah.
Right. So okay. So I know where to add add a position number 2. So Joost is 6th at the moment, chasing Carter Lundy coming up the hill. Ruben Pedroño still with a rear view mirror full, or wing mirror I should say, full of Ferrari at the moment, on the way up towards Remus once again. Luke Smith getting very close. No change for those two, but a great drive from the exit of Remus, and not using a lot of battery power either in the McLaren, doing exactly what he needs to do to remain in the lead. And how long has the Spaniard been in these past 4? He knows how to score well in races, and Ruben Pedroño is setting himself up brilliantly well for the ideal start to this race. But we are fairly sure the weather is going to play a part in this race. It could be that there's more downforce on these cars than you would normally have around Austria because of the wet weather. We will see, because everybody opting to start on the harder tyres, no one starting on the softs, and we haven't seen the mediums just yet. But again, if the rain is going to be towards the tail end of the race, which we believe that it is, then it's one of these things of, you don't want to be pitting more than you have to. That's why everyone's gone for the hard tyres. It backs up the theory that we are going to have rain before the checkered flag falls.
Absolutely, but drivers would also not want to be trying to go for the moves in the wet, so possibly they could try and go for overtakes a little bit earlier on, and that might just be my hopeful thinking here. But I'd like to see some on-track battles, and it seems like George Nader is getting closer to Jack West. I know you can't see him on your screen, Chris, but at this point, they're all separated by about 6-7 tenths of a second. George Nader following in behind of the Ferrari car, who's also pushing his teammate along at this point, and all of them stacking up behind Ruben Pedroño. 19 cars in the DRS train at this point. And Norrie Tarabucan, unfortunately, he's not been able to catch up to the pack, but only 3 seconds off, so he's not in a terrible position as they file in towards Rint corner. This is turn number 9, and then Red Bull Mobile up next at turn number 10. Very easy to run off circuit, and we could see some warnings out there if they just run over the extremities of this circuit, as Alfie Butcher sets the fastest lap of the race. He's following in behind of Max Vissel, and we'll watch that Williams driver as he opens up the DRS. He's not using any of the battery at this point, so he's not closing as much as he could do onto the rear of Max, and that just suggests to me that he's biding his time. And I think for the next few laps, Chris, we are going to be just watching a DRS train here.
We could well do. Again, we may see a few overtakes going on. Sorry, a comment in chat just made me chuckle. A visual goes saying, I always seem genuinely amazed by what is happening. Murray Walker vibes. I will take that as a very big compliment. Thank you kindly, sir. As Alfie Butcher gets alongside Max Vettel, talking about taking an opportunity when it arises, but Max is going to have the inside line for the next 2 corners. Alfie Butcher is trying to take advantage of that opportunity. He couldn't switch to the inside line. Of course, the Alpine was already there. It's not so much I'm surprised by what's happening, although I'm still always amazed by how close these drivers are. It's just that's how I express my enjoyment. I love these races. Again, in case you couldn't tell. I make no apologies for always sounding like the hyperactive Energizer Bunny when I'm commentating on these kind of races, but these guys make it very, very easy for me to scream at the top of my lungs the excitement. So absolutely love what I see, and I'm glad that enjoyment and enthusiasm is portrayed in what I say. So great stuff. Great stuff there, but anyway, back to the race. And yeah, so we're maintaining status quo at the moment. So I've also been keeping an eye on Andre Tarabukin's progress to try and catch the back of the field. He's about 3.6 seconds off the back of Miklavcic. I will get that right before the end of the season. So yeah, the Mercedes struggling a bit, but again, with the rain coming, that could absolutely change. It's also going to be a case of who's going to make that all crucial gamble when the rain does eventually fall. Because again, by the time that it does fall, these hard tyres will more likely screaming enough. If it arrives late, if it arrives quite early, then we're going to see a mad flurry of people pitting and trying to guess when to go on to the wet tyres. And of course, 2 cars per team, someone is going to have to either double stack behind their teammate or just lose out. And with how close the field is, they do not want to be double stacking. Someone is going to lose out if that is the case. So we'll see as the race continues to unfold.
You give off Murray Walker vibes. I wonder what vibes old Danfield here gives off, but you're absolutely right about the strategy coming into effect, and certainly George Nader is actually getting close to the rear of Jack West, and he had a half think about going up the inside. As we're seeing Kane Forbes giving us an update. He said Jeff, well, it's not Jeff anymore, it's Mark, isn't it? He's giving no rain. He's saying no rain now, so if we do see any rain, then it could just be a light drizzle towards the end, but maybe not enough to go to the intermediates. A lot of question marks at this point here in PSGL as they head down in towards now the final 2 corners down at Rint Curb and then towards Red Bull Mobile, where we've just seen this DRS train for so long at this point. Luke Smith, I'm noticing, is beginning to slip off the back of Room Pedreño. Now the gap is up to 0.6 of a second, and sort of creating his own training behind. And George Nader seems to be taking advantage of that because he's using some of the back string closing to the rear of Jack West, but he just responds to him by using some of his own, and he just can't get close enough as they head up towards Remus. Can George possibly get a good exit here, opening up the DRS? A slight mistake from Jack West could open the door for the Williams, but again, no, it's just so difficult to overtake in a DRS train as they head down towards turn number 4 at Schloss Gold. Still, we have 19 drivers in this DRS train here.
Yeah, like you say, everybody is just, or most people at least, are managing their battery amounts. So Pedreño's in the 90s, Luke Smith's actually full. I can't check Jack's. On my screen, he's got around about 67% apparently. George in the 70s, Carter's in the 50s. Jost's about to hit the 70s. Max Vettel 50s. Alfie's got a bit less. I noticed that earlier as well. Alfie Butcher doesn't have as much, or he's used more, I should say, than the rest. So he's in the 40s kind of area. Leveche, he's in the 80s. Pookie, he's used a fair bit as well. He's around half capacity left. Looks like everybody else is, well, actually, Sabaconyi is running a bit low. He's in the 30s. Everybody else is a bit better than that, except for Danny Lusing. He's in the teens, so he's feeling the need to really use a lot of his battery energy just to stay on the tail end of this pack, and it's not working out for him at all. He is losing a lot of time. So again, he may have opted for a bit more downforce, which is really hurting him in the certainly in the straighter bits. And there's enough high and medium speed corners to try and make a higher downforce work, but I reckon the way that we've gone for a more wet-centric setup, hoping the rain would arrive sooner. And the clouds are beginning to gather, but will they gather quick enough? It wouldn't be the first time that Jeff or Mark, Jeff, Bob, Frank, Sue, whatever the engineer is called this time around, has been incorrect in the call saying no rain coming. But we will see as the race continues. Checking in with Pedreño. Again, doesn't look like he's going to be under challenge, or certainly not coming up to Remus once again. Luke Smith with the DRS open. Oh, again, gets close to the tail end of the McLaren. And then Ruben Pedreño just flexes that Spanish right foot a little bit more as Sam McBride and Norma Jakob are having an argument though. So the Red Bull taking the inside line of the Mercedes, but, and then feeling the need to defend as they come down towards Schlossgold. Sam McBride forced the outside line. Hoffland and Buki have now swapped round on the exit of Schlossgold. So there are a few overtakes happening, probably as a result of people's mistakes more than a pace difference or anything. And Andre Terabik Sabi is falling off the back, so I wonder if there is damage on the Mercedes, which would explain how he ended up towards the back end of the field on lap 1 anyway, which, of course, again, he won't want to pit more than he has to. On a 50% race, he would never make that time back again. And a 100% race, you wouldn't make that time back either, in fairness. But either way, the DRS train continues. The skies remain dry at the moment.
We've seen some fantastic racing for 7th position just a lap ago. Max Vissel managed to come out on top in that. And then Alfie Butcher lost in position to Domenico Lavecce. And then, of course, Duncan Hoffland sent the move in towards Schlossgold on Istvan Pukki. Now is at the tail end of Alfie Butcher's Williams, and the Dutchman has got a good exit here, closing in towards turn number 4. Luke Smith is also getting close to the back of Ruben Pedreño, but he is happy to just sit in behind and let Ruben do his own thing at this point as they just continue on. It's lap number 12 of 36, so we're about a third of the way in. The hard tyres have still got plenty of life left in them because, of course, they go to around about lap number 20, I believe it is, lap number 21, 22. We do typically see drivers go in about lap 18, 19, so slightly earlier than the tyre life, but in towards lap 13 they go once again. George Nader, we've just seen him get so much closer to the back of Jack West, but it's like there's an invisible wall behind that Ferrari guarding him from the onslaught of attacks from the Williams in behind as they climax towards Remus Corner. And Chris, again, we're just seeing no one's really able to overtake in this DRS train.
No, well, you're saying there's an invisible wall. For me, Jack West is an invisible car. So I don't know where he is. Well, on my screen, he is just coming through the final turn. So I'm pretty sure he is not a long way behind the field. But also, it's good to see that we haven't had masses of front wing, dead front wings and dead cars. Yeah, Andre Tarabukin has struggled in this phase of the race, but the fact that the field has remained all together without anybody having to change any wings shows just how cleanly this race has gone so far. So, great stuff from our F2 drivers. It's only the first race of a long season. Yes, I'm well aware of that, but we all know what turn 1, lap 1 is like. Obviously, here it's more Remus than it is the Niki Lauda curve. But Remus on the first lap is genuinely terrifying. No matter what racing machinery, you could be in milk floats and it would still be just as horrific. But it's been a great start from our F2 drivers so far.
Yeah, we've seen over the past few seasons of F2, it's only been 2 seasons. The driving standards, to put it lightly, haven't always been the best, but so far this race they've been fantastic. And I keep looking over to the live chat on my other monitor here, and I keep seeing everyone asking, "Where is Jarno? Where is Jarno?" To those who are genuinely asking, he is currently in Abu Dhabi, but he wouldn't even be racing on this grid. This is F2, and of course Jarno is a part of F1. To those who aren't being serious, why not ask, why is Jarno, or how is Jarno? It doesn't always have to be where, just switch up a little bit. Come on, lads. As we continue on this race, Ruben Pedreño just crossed over to start lap number 15. We saw George Nader try and go for a move on Jack West in towards the second sector, but it didn't quite work out, and the Williams car just has to stick in 4th position. as Carter-Lundy is again just following in this train. It's difficult to come up with things to talk about when all these drivers are doing are just following behind each other, but Joost Noordijk gets a good run on Carter-Lundy. Had a half look up the inside off the exit as turn number 3, but in towards Josh Gold. He's not been able to draw alongside, and Carter-Lundy can remain in P5. And I'm seeing all the questions in the live chat at this point as we've got a battle for 13th. Simon Perrine, haven't seen too much of him this race. He's looking up the inside of Ben Abercrombie, the Haas car, holding him around the outside and towards the second sector. Slight bit of rubbing, but that is just racing as Abercrombie still holding him around the outside, and this wheel-to-wheel battle is going to continue down towards louder curb. No, it's Rint curb, as he's not quite close enough to get that overtake Simon Perrine on this occasion, but Abercrombie just about manages to stay ahead. So fantastic overtake. I don't even know. I don't know who was ahead, but brilliant battling nonetheless.
It was Abercrombie defended against Perrine. Perrine hadn't made the move, but it was a great defence though. I thought that one was going to be done when they got down towards Roush, but no such luck. Here comes Flyers on the grass on the way up to Remus. Oh my goodness me, Luke Smith's in trouble. Oh, as I looked away from the top spot to have a look at what was going on around Pyrenees, Flyers on the grass, trying to get a move done. It's Luke Smith. One small mistake has dropped into 5th.
I don't know what's happened to him there. He got close to the back of Pedreño. Maybe there was a tap from behind. But all I know is that the Ferrari driver is now down the order. He's got some moves to make up. He's still well and truly in this fight, and that damage could have been a lot worse. He's peeling off into the pit. So Luke Smith is our first runner coming into the box, and surely this means that the rain is pretty much confirmed not to be coming at this point, because he would not be pitting. But it is still an early stop. The mediums can go to the end, given that they're on lighter fuel load, so they're not putting as much wear into the tyres. But there it is, the Ferrari car getting serviced, as is Domenico Lavecce. So the two drivers have pulled off into the pit lane, and I'd imagine that's going to spark some activity down at the other garages as Jack West gets close to the back of Rune Pedreño. Maybe if they plan to pit this lap, then why not burn it all and try and jump your rivals? And that is exactly what Jack West is going to do, as he makes a move for the lead of the race down the inside and towards turn number 4. The McLaren driver Rune Pedreño could try and make a switchback move work off the exit here. No point fighting that one there. Still a long race left to go here, but it is Jack West now leading this Grand Prix, and he's the only other driver to do so other than Rune Pedreño. We'll see if they decide to peel off into the box. I'd imagine Jack West is certainly thinking that, and you can see he's holding it to the right hand side, which means he is going to come into the pits. Careful not to extend on your way in. Very easy around this circuit. Such an awkward entry as well, but there it is, the Ferrari driver, the only one in this train getting his car serviced. We'll see where he comes out in comparison to Smith and Lavecce.
Here comes George's Nader then on Rune Pedreño's case. He closed in just as Jack West peeled in. Or again, the only reason I know that is because you've told me on my screen he's coming over the line. I think, no, he's not. He's just going through Remus. Apparently, he's technically in the lead on track. Anyway, enough of that. George's Nader was very close to the back of the McLaren then. I did wonder whether he was going to make that move stick, but no such luck. I saw someone saying safety car to help Tara Buchan. He would wish, but we can't invoke that, I'm afraid. If someone wishes to park in the middle of the road, then that would do it. I don't think we're going to have any willing volunteers on this one. Luke Smith actually has Andre Tara Buchan in his sights. About 3.2 seconds down the road, Lavecce is following in the tyre tracks of the Ferrari. Now, this is going to be interesting to see if the undercut works here in Austria. Is anybody else going to be coming into the pits? Does not look like it. So, a lot of people. I wonder if there are those still counting on there being rain, but if the race engineer is saying it isn't going to be there, it may not be worth it. But there wasn't any front wing changes on Smith or Lavecce. I'm assuming there wasn't for Jack West. But the Ferrari and the Haas did not have any damage to deal with. And it looks like Lavecce may well be closing in on Luke Smith. Here he goes. The fastest lap now goes over to the Haas. The Haas now has DRS from the back of Luke Smith. So he's got a potential battle for what at the moment is wooden spoon avoidance. But of course, that is going to change when the rest of the pit stops take place. But that's not what Luke Smith wants. He does not want to be involved in the battle at this point. He just needs Leveche to stay there. But yeah, let him have DRS, let him save a bit of fuel, sure. But Smith does not want to be fighting anybody at this point. He wants to burn the best out of these tyres as quickly as he can. Well, I mean, he would love these tyres to stay good for the rest of the race. And they'll stay fairly well. But he doesn't want to be losing time to Leveche. He wants to be getting the undercut rather, to work.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that Jack West is in that train as well. He's sandwiching the two drivers. As we've seen our first time penalty of the day. I just completely forgot they existed. As Primoz Miklavčić and Danny Lusink both peel off into the pits. These hard tyres are well and truly done as they reach the peak of the circuit. Whereas Luke Smith going to come out in relation to the rivals, and he's going to be clear of them. They were way down the order, as I think now, Chris, we are going to start to see some interesting battles start to take shape as George Nader gets close to the back of Rim Pedreño, headed down in towards the braking zone at turn number 4, Schloss Gold corner. Not quite close enough to send one up the inside. It's very difficult to get the car stopped there, so if you're braking too late or too much later than you have to, you could see yourself right off into the gravel. Meanwhile, Alfie Butcher further back behind, another Williams driver who could look to try and make some move. He's on the rear of Max Wissel, but surely now the drivers are going to opt to box. Pedreño stays out, as does Nader, as does Lundy, as does Wissel, and they're all staying out for at least one more lap as they file along towards lap number 21. Andrei Tarabukin has also got a time penalty, and Leveche's just cleared him as well, so he's really not having a good day.
Tarabukin has decided to pit now. Will he call it a day? Yeah, he just banzaied into the pits. He's had enough. The Mercedes is part, and there it is. Yeah, I thought that was going to happen to Nader. Whilst I was looking away, George Nader on the inside of Remus has taken the lead from the McLaren. So we have another race leader through this race. Also, Luke Smith absolutely threw his car on the inside of Andrei Tarabukin into Schlossgold to take what was then 17th place. But for the time being, George Nader now leading the way from literally everybody down to 14th place. Now, Luke Smith has got some time to close up. Now, Luke Smith is, he has much less than I thought he did. Luke with Leveche in a very close pursuit, just coming through Roush, whereas the back of the pack, which is Sam McBride, is coming through Ritz. So, and again, no one from the rest of the pack is pitting. So, Jack West is on for an absolute stormer if the rain holds off. If it doesn't, he is thrown away a potential podium position. But it's a gamble. We'll see if it pays off.
Was inside of Cartalundi and towards Remus. Cartalundi doesn't want to give this one up, but he has to at the end of the day, as Joost Noordijk, he gets himself up into a podium position at this point. He's ahead now, as just a wonder. Maybe they are still expecting some rain, and the runners who have already boxed, they don't foresee it getting wet enough for the intermediate tyres. If they've got that wrong, their race is in tatters. They're going to have to box for the intermediates and be so far off the back of the pack. But if that is the case, then everyone else is going to have to box, and they'll be in prime position to win this Grand Prix once everyone else's tyres have been spent. As Alfie Butcher once again gets close to the back of Max Wissel, and he's using some of the batteries. Oh dear, bit of contact. He's gone into the rear of him. Hopefully there's no damage. Yellow flags in sector 2. It is Danny Lusink who's gone around, unfortunately. Alfie Butcher, though, getting very aggressive on the rear of the German driver, and I'd imagine that is just going to play in towards his annoyances off the exit of the first corner. Lauda curve. He's got the Alpine in his crosshairs, not quite close enough. Pedreño is, though, as he sidles his way up the inside and towards Remus corner. Textbook move for the Spaniard. He gets ahead of George Nader. Didn't really want to put up too much of a fight, as now, Chris, the cloud coverage is really beginning to form over the circuit, and the track is just looking that little bit more drab and dreary.
That's it, isn't it? Because the track temperature is going to come down whilst those clouds are in place. So I had to mute there. I'm sneezing. Oh, excuse me. That's why I suddenly cut my sentence off there. Beg your pardon. I didn't think you guys wanted to hear that. Oh, was it? Stanley Lusink parking his car. That's another one gone. 18 cars remain. Now, is anybody going to come in this time? Pedreño leading the field again. Basically returning the favour to George Nader. That's how he took the position. And the Spaniard wanted it back.
Absolutely. I mean, I wonder if George Nader is going to go for this move again. He gets very close in towards the first corner. We'll see if he tries to go for the move. I think he's going to go for this as he pulls now to the outside line. Pedreño is going to leave him the space and not even try and fight this one bit. As in towards the braking zone, George Nader is ahead. Carter Lundy trying to look up the inside of Joost Noordijk. Doesn't quite work out. Alfie Butcher once again trying to find an overtake on Max Wissel. And now he's a lot closer. Wissel is a lot further back from his rivals. Can Alfie Butcher make a send in towards turn number 4? Not quite though, but he is very, very close. And the German is certainly feeling the pressure here as they all still continue. It's just not feasible really for them to stay out this long if they didn't expect the rain to come at some point. The hard to medium is a lot quicker than the medium to soft, so if they all stay out this time by, I'm going to be 100% convinced they are waiting for the rain as George Nader files in towards turn number 9, as does Pedreño, as does Noordijk and the rest of the train. These guys are staying out and they're going for as long as they can in anticipation for the rain.
Ooh, there's that air of anticipation in there. And Luke Smith, was he 7 seconds less than that off the back of Sam McBride? So he's been dragging Domenico Levetti along with him. So they did have a bit of a squabble, but I think they're just ignoring each other at the moment and just concentrating on getting towards the back of the field to get themselves really involved in the fight for when everybody does come in. Because rain or not, they're going to have to come in at some point. And Luke Smith and Domenico Levetti, if they gamble on staying on dries, it's going to pay off. They're in a brilliant position to really capitalise on it. I think you may well be right, Dan. If it is going to rain, they're banking on it not raining hard enough to warrant the intermediates. So we will see who is going to win the gamble as the field work their way down towards, through Verth and then heading towards Rentals. Again, the leaders do. But the pack first to 14th is only a few seconds apart. Indeed, how far apart are they? Let's have 5 seconds first to 14th at the moment. And still no sign of anybody in the pits. Everybody is looking very nervous up towards the sky at the moment. So, I wouldn't want to be out there right now. Well, it's a complete lie. I'd love to be out there, but I'm nowhere near good enough. If you have an F200, I might be good enough for that. But, we'll see. At the moment, Nader leads Pedreño, leads Noordijk, leads everybody else. Luke Smith now less than 6 seconds off the back of the field, having pitted.
Absolutely, those medium runners are beginning to close as Jack West is also in that train, as is Domenico Levetti. Primož Miklavčić quite a ways off. At this point, he's 8 seconds to the rear of Levetti. But the fight at the front of the order with 10.5 laps to go. Is the rain going to come? Whether or not it does, these drivers have to pit at some point, and if it isn't intermediate tyres that they're going to be going on, well, it's just going to play into the hands of Luke Smith and Jack West. This will either be a 1-2 for the Scuderia, or it's going to be 15th and 16th. It's pretty much all or nothing at this point in time. We have 558 viewers watching in the live chat. Thank you everyone for joining us today, as make sure you like and subscribe. It's a big red button beneath this stream. Do not you just cannot miss it, as Caden Forbes, I know he's a very reputable source of information, he is confirming rain is coming. It is inevitable at this point. Will it be wet enough for the intermediate tyres? That remains to be seen, as Norbert Jakob looks to the inside of Ben Jabber-Conye, Alfie Butcher, and is trying to have a fight with Duncan Hoffland. I'm getting all my names mixed up as they file down towards turn number 4. What has happened to Hoffland here? He was ahead of Max Wissel, but it hasn't worked out for him, and something has gone wrong for the Dutchman. The Aston Martin losing that position to the Alpine, as Alfie Butcher, again, he's been so unlucky. He's been very quick so far this race, but he's just not been able to make the moves.
Ben Jabber-Conye's had a few arguments. Floris Vyers muscled his way past. Norbert Jakob has done the same. Now Simon Perroni is having an argument with it. Sam McBride is there as well to capitalise on it, as Luke Smith, Jack West, assumedly, and Domenico Levetti continue their relentless charge towards the back of the field. I'm not seeing any signs of rain yet, but those clouds are most certainly gathered and ready to deploy if they so felt like it, and there is just about long enough in the left in the race if it rains hard enough for the intermediate tyres to become useful. Either way, they will, even if it does only rain a little bit, they will not want to be out there on really warm soft tires. Well, they wouldn't want to be out there on warm soft tires anyway. They don't want to be out there on worn hard tyres. Oh my goodness, Duncan Hoffland has got a big pack right ahead of him. All arguing 3 wide now coming through. Oh no, there's Pookie that's gone round. He's run Pookie in the Alpha Tower. He's been sent round 3 wide in most places. It's never usually going to work. And alas, the future esports driver has plummeted down the field, down in 17th place now behind the medium shod cars. Oh, that's a shame. That was looking at a very intense battle as Max Beatle and Carter Lundy. Well, no, they're not swapping around. Carter is in.
He's given up.
What has he gone for?
He's not going for the gamble anymore.
No, it's raining. The rain has started. The rain has begun to fall, but that's going to be too early for wets. That has to be done to soft tyres. Carter Lundy has gone for soft tyres, but the rain has begun to fall. So, oh no, this is not ideal.
And Pedreño to the outside of George Nader. It's all kicking off on lap number 29 as they're wheel to wheel off the exit of turn number 3. And where can Joost Noordijk find himself in this fight as well? And Nader has to give up that position to the McLaren, but he gets close down the inside. Goes George Nader. Can he make this move stick? Is off the exit of the corner. Ashlosh Gold, the rain is beginning to pitter-patter down on the circuit, but it is not enough for the intermediates at this point. Pedreño has a half look up the inside in towards turn number 6, doesn't find an opportunity. What a battle we've just witnessed there, but the rain finally is it is coming down. It is not wet enough for the Inters. Nader doesn't care. He's pulling it off to the right hand side. Look at the state of his tyres. There's a big strip around that front right. Same goes for Noordijk. Same goes for Pedreño. These guys are in puncture territory. Carter Lundy has dropped the ball massively. He is now way down the order right as the rain began to fall, and it just seems like all of it has gone awry for him as once again these drivers look to do battle in towards turn number 3. Nader to the inside. Pedreño has to go the long way round. They bang wheels on entry as here comes Noordijk off the exit of the corner, and he gets the drive on Pedreño. He makes that move stick, headed down in towards Schloss Gold corner. Nader streaked ahead up the road. The Dutchman is ahead of Pedreño, who's now down into 3rd.
George has no battery power left. Noordijk has got about 20%. Pedreño is running on nearly empty in the battery pack as well. Remember when I said they all had full batteries, or a lot of them did? Goodness me. Now Nader has got very little. Well, he's going to find it hard to defend. He has built up a little bit of energy. Again, there's not many very big, heavy braking zones here. So it makes recharging the battery that little bit more difficult. Now, is anybody going to pit at this stage?
Pedreño.
Let's have a look. Pedreño, yeah. Pedreño. All right, he's now Pedreño.
Flores.
Flores. I thought both McLarens had come in at the same time. Big gaggle of cars now, all pitting. But that's, again, playing right into the hands of those that went for the medium tyres. And we have got people on Inters. Those that have come in now are going intermediate tyres. That's insane. It's not raining anywhere near hard enough and nor long enough for that. They are just going to plummet. So it's Pedreño, Butcher, Zena, Jakub and Savakonyi all on intermediate tyres.
And right at the front of the order, we're still seeing some battles. Duncan Hoffland is now into 3rd ahead of Max Bissell. Certainly, these hard tyres are just not ideal to be on at the moment. I'd rather be on the intermediates as Luke Smith gets ahead of Simon Perrone. They are now in the train. Jack West I didn't even notice. Jack West has made a move on his teammate and is now the effective race leader with 5 laps to go in this race. Will it rain hard enough to make the intermediates the viable option? Carter Lundy's on a set of the softs, and I'll tell you what, Pedreño's not been dropped too bad by him as the top 3, they're all coming in. Duncan Hoffland has to stay out to avoid stacking behind his teammate. He now leads this race as a plethora of penalties are coming out here on lap number 32. Your order is Duncan Hoffland, Jack West, Luke Smith, Domenico Lavecce, and here's George Nader pulling out of the box now, and he's going to be in 5th place on a set of the Inters, make it 6th as Carter Lundy pulls out ahead of him. Where is he going to come out effective to Pedreño? Just about ahead. This seems like the hards and the Inters have about the same pace here, but those mediums strapped on to Jack West, Luke Smith and Lavecce are going to be in prime working condition.
Well, saying that, Luke Smith just went off the road of Remus, so it could be. Is it too slippery for the mediums now? As a big lock up there from Lavecce coming through Slosgold. Are those mediums too far worn to be effective in these now slippery conditions as Luke Smith's Ferrari is getting
it
very,
looks
very,
awful.
very squiggly. Coming through Roush. I have no idea where Jack West is, little and what tyre. Well, he's on medium tyres. He could be on the moon for all I know. So again, I have to rely on what you're saying. I had no idea Jack West was actually ahead of Luke Smith because I haven't seen him all race long. But that Ferrari and Luke Smith is all over the road. Now Duncan Knopfling comes in, only just slows it down. And Georges Nader, the biggest loser in all this. He's got a 5-second speeding in the pit lane penalty, which he can't do anything about. So unless he gets an absolute stormer on these intermediate tyres, he is going to plummet through the field. But it's Ferrari 1-2 with Leveche now challenging Luke Smith, both of them on hard tyres, on medium tyres. DRS is disabled and Smith's off the road. There's now spray coming off the wheels. Was my earlier exasperation about the Inters completely wrong? Nader now catching to the back of Carter Lundy with Pedreño in hot pursuit. Oh, we are not done yet.
No.
Carter Lundy has got nothing. He's got no way of answering. Georges Nader just dances around the outside of the Alpine up into fourth, I think. Oh my goodness me, what is going to happen now? Leveche and Smith are struggling like mad. Leveche, it's all over the place. Surely they're going to have to come in.
Anyone who's pitted for the slicks has completely dropped the ball. Are they going to box or just try and keep going? They are going to continue in this race as the gap is closing much, much more. Carter Lundy sinking like a stone down the order. Leveche still trying to battle Luke Smith. That's the last thing that they would want to do at this point. Maybe if they can just stick in the pack, it'll be so difficult to do so, but they could just squeeze maybe 1 or 2 points. They have completely bottled the strategy. Joost Noordijk is now ahead of Carter as they reach the top at Remus. Careful not to go off track, and oh wow, they are practically crawling through here, and look at the difference in grip. George Nader off the exit just steams on by without a care in the world. He is now into second position. Jack West is 2.5 seconds up the road, but he's almost gone straight on down at Schloss Gold. Ruben Pedreño, who will be leading this race after the penalty of Nader is applied, is now onto the back of the Ferrari car. George Nader now leads this race as Jack West is completely parked at this point. Leveche's off. He's into the gravel. Pedreño is ahead as they file on towards lap number 35 of 36 at the end of this race. The rain came at just the right moment for the runners who decided to gamble and stay out on the hards. If it were just 1 or 2 laps off, these medium runners would have their strategy would have worked.
Yeah, it would have done, but now Smith is also plummeting through the field as everyone is just absolutely destroying them. So Nader is leading the way, Pedreño in second, Butcher up into third, but again, penalties to apply. Noordijk is likely to stand on the podium if he can just close in a little bit more on those ahead. So Butcher with 3 seconds of penalties, Nader with 5. So Noordijk is going to be on the podium this time around. What a start we've had to this season.
I didn't even realise Flores Viers has found himself into 5th position now, behind Joost Noordijk. Granted, he does have a 3-second penalty to his name. You can see all the time penalties on your screen. It is 5 seconds for Nader, 3 seconds for Anthony Butcher, 3 for Flores Viers, Norbert Jacobs on 3, 6th for Simon Perrinet, and then Primoz Roglic has 3 seconds as we file on. George Nader leading this race, headed on to the final lap of this Grand Prix. Let's have a look at the position changes. Nader's come from 4th place to take this win. That penalty still can get removed. There is a slight glitch if you do get it on the bubble. Sometimes it doesn't actually let you, it counts you as being over when you're actually on the limit, so don't count Nader out for this win as they head up towards Remus, which was formerly a hotspot for overtakes. Now just looks like a wasteland with all these cars filing along. But Nader, what a story this is. He has had a fantastic start to this season. Carter Lundy retiring in the pit lane as the PlayStation man now on PC has just got 2 sectors left to go. He's got the end of Sector 2 and then Sector 3 left. Pedreño will win this race after the penalty for George Nader is applied, but the stewards could be busy today, and this win is never solid. But to head in towards turn number 8 for the final time, George Nader just got 2 more corners to traverse as they head down in towards the braking zone at Lauda and at Rint, and in towards Red Bull Mobile. Turn number 10 off the exit to cross the line on circuit. Nader wins here in PSGL PCF2 for the start of the season, but after the penalties are applied, it is Pedreño taking the win, Joost Noordijk in second, and still, even with that 5 seconds, Nader takes third.
What a great effort for Nader there. Did enough to hang on to a podium spot. But, I mean, won it on track, and if that decision does get changed, of course, he will regain that top spot. Alfie Butcher, good effort there into 4th position. A worthwhile gamble for those staying on the slicks, but it did not pay off for West, Smith, and Leveche. Oh, my days. What a fabulous race. And you wonder why I get excited when I get the honour of talking about the PSGL drivers.
Absolutely. I mean, F2 is really looking to be the best season of Formula 2. Season 31 is looking to be the best season of F2 so far on PC. Of course, season 29 was where it all began, then season 30 and season 31. And now it is season 31, of course, as we're just loading, getting ready for the podium celebrations. And it is Ruben Pedreño taking the win today. The McLaren driver stands atop the podium after a fantastic race from him, leading a majority of the way at the beginning of the stint and always having his nose in there. And unfortunately for the Ferrari drivers, it was not meant to be. The gamble has worked out for those that stayed out on the hards and put themselves in puncture territory, and they reap the reward. Champagne being sprayed over the adoring crowd. It is Pedreño on top today. Joost Noordijk and George Nader are both going to be celebrating their P2s today, and we'll run through your classification before stewards pending results. Pedreño wins at this race, Joost Noordijk in second. Third for George Nader. Alfie Butcher finishes in 4th, and 5th for Max Wissel. Duncan Hoffland takes 6th position, and Sam McBride takes 7th from 18th on the grid. Floris Vyers take 8th from 19th on the grid. Jabba 9th and 10th for Norbert Jakob. The rest of the grid as follows. Zeller, Pookie, Pernier, Miklavcic, West, Smith, Leveche, Lundy, and then your 2 DNFs, Danny Lusink and Andre Tarabukin. But Chris, what a way to start off the season, and that was a very, very exciting race today.
Yes, it certainly was. You can't take that away from Pedreño. He led for most of the soft stint, really gave it his all to stay exactly where he needed to be. And in the end, he's the one that was granted the win. Yes, stewards may well get involved with that, but we will see. It was a fantastic race from our competitors. Some slightly questionable moves at times, but on the whole, that was pretty good. A few thrills and spills, a few spills particularly for those staying on absolutely ruined soft tyres in the rain. But again, you take the gamble, and if the rain was either a little bit lighter or a couple of laps later, that would have been a dream strategy for the Ferrari pair. But that's racing.
Absolutely, it really did just slip away from them today. Both Jack West and Luke Smith are going home without any points, unfortunately, and I believe they finished in 15th and 16th, and that is what I actually said. So I might have jinxed them. I said that they were either going to get a 1-2 or 15th and 16th, and that's unfortunately how it ended. It was me. I hold my hands up here. It was my fault, but hopefully they can recuperate and come back next week and still have fighting spirit, because of course it is only round number 1 of what is a long season in PSGL. So I'm still hoping the best for them.
We've got some people wanting to have a chat to us.
Oh, fantastic! I will bring us over to the interview room now, and then I will quickly just drag in who have we got? We've got George Nader, and we've also got Joost Noordijk. So I'll bring the pair of them in, and fellas, we'll start off with who should we start off with, Chris?
Let's start off with our youngsters. George, are you with us?
Me or George's?
I was aiming for George first, but we can speak to you, Yost. I do not
Okay.
mind. As George hasn't responded, we'll speak to you, Yost. You had a fair amount of support in the chat even before we got underway. But what a start. That was absolutely superb stuff. Coming through from 7th. Did you picture a podium before this race began?
No, I was struggling a lot with the pace, especially in the qualifying. I was in practice not the quickest in qualifying. I knew that. Still, I did nearly my PB in qualifying, so I was very happy with that. And I knew in the race, with the race pace, I would catch up. I tried it, and I think it went very well. Also with the ERS management, I had like more ERS than the drivers in front of me, and they were battling, so I could take them on the exits. And yeah, overall, very good race.
So did the rain arrive at the right time for you? Because that was always the golden question. The entire field starting on hard, so people were anticipating the rain early. But a few people did try to stick it out on dry tyres, and well, I'm sure you spotted who they were as they plummeted. What was your thought? Did you think the rain was going to hold off? Were you thankful for when it arrived? What was going through your mind?
No, I saw on the starting grid and that it was gonna rain at the end of the race. So my strategy was immediately going for the rain on the hards. But I have never driven on inters before, so I was first time feeling the inters, and I was in the beginning quite struggling with the braking points and how much you can accelerate. So and I had like that collision with Alfie, or I don't know, Cartalundi, I think, or Alfie Butcher, I don't know, but that cost me some time. But I was just management to stay ahead, to stay in front of Flores.
Great stuff. Well done.
Yeah, that was Joost Noordijk. And Joost, from me, I want to ask about next race. We are headed to Miami, new circuit on the F122 game. How are you feeling so far with any potential practice you might have done in anticipation? And just how's the feel of the circuit?
I really like the circuit. It's quite a good layout, but I've only done it in 5 laps and it was not very serious. So I've not really done some practice laps on it. A bit of time trial, but I like it. But I don't really know if I'm fast on the track. But we will see.
Hey, and one last thing. This championship, 11 rounds long. Do you think that you're going to be fighting for the title?
If I improve my quali, it is possible, but I don't know yet. It is the first race, and just trying to get points every race. The consistency is very important. So I will try, but yeah, we will see.
Well, really, really well done for taking the podium today. It was a very well-worked race on your behalf. We'll let you get away and enjoy that one. But it is Joost Noordijk, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and let's bring George's back in, because we left with him last time. He didn't reply to us. George's, are you here?
Yep, I am.
Fantastic. So let's start off with talking about your qualifying. I believe you started in 4th. Was there anything that you left on the table in that lap and you could have taken pole?
Well, yeah, definitely. I had some traffic, the penultimate corner, and this game, because of the new cars, the penultimate corner, if you cut it a bit, you bottom out. So since I got traffic, I didn't have really a good reference point to when I would steer, and then I bottomed out and lost a second to my 10th to my delta. So I was definitely on for pole.
Okay, and headed into the race, of course, it was very, very high drama, and we saw that some drivers opted to pit for the medium tyres when the rain was imminent. Was there anything going through your mind and thinking that maybe that was the right call for you?
To be fair, it was really, like as you said, dramatic. You know, Jeff would not Jeff anymore. The new engineer would say 10 to 15 minutes for like say 6-7 laps, and then suddenly it was rain in 5 minutes. So I was very tempted to come in during lap 16, 17, but I'm quite happy with the call to stay out.
And of course, when you did eventually pit, you picked up a 5-second time penalty for speeding. Is there any way that you can get that one removed?
I wish. Just I miss. The breaking point. I took the same breaking point as the dry, and yeah, obviously it wouldn't work when the track is wet.
Really unfortunate in that
Yeah.
case. So you can't get that one removed, but still third position, even with having that penalty and taking the win on track. It's certainly got to feel good. So hold your head up high. Chris, is there anything you'd like to say to our P3 man today?
So you were gunning for the pole spot with the pace you had. Is that kind of performance the kind of thing you're aiming for? Is your rise has been pretty meteoric through the ranks, so been very much looking forward to seeing your progress in F2 now. Are you constantly going to be aiming for that top spot? Are we destined to see George's Nader in esports soon?
Well, that's the plan. I mean, pace felt really good today, and Austria is one of these tracks where, when you're in a train, it's hard to overtake. And I don't know if you noticed the gap during the race, but I was constantly 2 to 1/10 in Jack's, dirty air. So pace is really good. I'm really confident, and my aim is to win this championship and move to esports next season.
Good man. Well, the thing is, a lot of people are looking forward to seeing that. Great stuff. Thank you very much, George's Nader.
Thank you so much.
Well, a fantastic evening of racing in F2. I'll bring you back over to our live feed. I've got to get my OBS back up because there it is. I need to go full screen. You're seeing all the behind the scenes information of our Discord channel. But, well, Chris, what a fantastic night of racing. And surely this tees up a fantastic season of F2.
We've enjoyed some brilliant racing tonight. We tend to get very, very good racing in a lot of our tiers here in PSGL. And for those looking to get involved, head over to the Discord, sign up when you can. I think the sign-ups are closed in a minute, but when you get the opportunity, sign up. You may have lunatics like us shouting about your on-track antics.
Absolutely. I believe that is everything from us. As Chris mentioned, make sure you join the Discord server. A link is in the description. All your PSGL news will be conveyed through there. But if that is not enough for you, make sure you subscribe to the PSGL YouTube channel. A bunch of races every single week. And season 31 is just teeing up to be the best season of league racing ever. So make sure that you are involved. And of course, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. That is at PremierSimGL. You can find myself, Downfield F1_ as well on Twitter. And you can find Chris at KingKodiak_UK. But from us, that is thank you. It is a massive thank you to everyone that tuned in to the broadcast today. We cannot wait to bring you more action in Formula 2. Make sure you join us next week for the Miami Grand Prix. But from us, it is thank you and good night. That was very good. Oh, I've brought them over to the wrong scene.